Birthday present to ex-wife. Gather around, boys and girls, because it's time for the story of my cheating ex-wife and how I confronted her. Now, bear with me, as this is a bit of a long one, but let's go. I had a feeling she was cheating because she set off a lot of red flags. She would constantly laugh and smile when texting, claiming it was just her mother whenever I asked. She needed to stay late every night after work, but when I would call, her coworkers said she had left hours ago. When I confronted her about it, she would laugh it off and say it was just something they did to each other at the office all the time. The last straw, where I knew something was definitely up, was when she went out to get milk at 11:30 at night and didn't return until 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, if there are any words of wisdom I can pass on to others from all my years of experience, it's this: if you suspect your significant other is cheating, hire a private investigator. They are incredibly skilled at what they do and will gather evidence that can be extremely helpful during divorce proceedings. Fast forward to her birthday, several months later. Now, I know what you're thinking: why the hell did I wait months before confronting her, and did it really need to be on her birthday? Well, the answer to the first question is that I wanted as much evidence as possible to hand off to my lawyer, as well as making arrangements to find a new place to live, etc. As for the second question, of course it had to be on her birthday. You see, when I asked her what she wanted to do on her birthday this year, she insisted that I go out of town with my friends since she had to work anyway and didn't want to be reminded of her aging. So, I had a strong feeling something was amiss when I discovered a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses hidden in my closet. Something clicked in my mind. Acting sensibly, I decided to leave and head over to my friend's house, pretending that I was going out of town. Once there, I called up her mother, father, sister, and several of her friends. I explained that I wanted to give her a tremendous surprise by sneaking into her room with party streamers, kazoos, and a large cake adorned with candles. Sounds like a fun plan, right? Well, let me tell you, it turned out to be quite an experience. It was 8:30 in the morning, and we had all gathered just outside our apartment. A group of about 8 of us piled into the elevator, with her mother carefully holding the cake, while I reminded everyone to be as quiet as possible. I inserted my key, unlocked the door, and we all stealthily entered, making our way down the hall towards the bedroom. Each of us held a kazoo, and her mother, grinning from ear to ear, held the cake. Well, as I throw open the door and we all yell surprise. But the surprise was on us, and there was my wife, bent over in doggy-style position with her lover staring at us wide-eyed mid-thrust. Mom drops the cake, sister screams, father begins to shout. I pretend like I'm horrified, to which her friends try to push everyone out while yelling at her. Wife, excuse me, ex-wife is sobbing and screaming how could I, while the lover is desperately trying to put his pants on while running out of the place. Needless to say, it was one of the best birthday presents I have ever given. TLDR, gave ex-wife a kick-ass birthday present. Update. Sorry, everyone. I was about to respond when I saw that there were several requests asking what happened next, so here it is. To be honest, it was hilarious at first. I tried to hide my amusement by pretending I was choked up. After being betrayed for so long, I was the one who had the last laugh. Moreover, since I had hired a private investigator, I was able to prove that she was using my money to finance things for her lover like hotels and dinners. So, I did get some compensation for that, although she still ended up with half of my life's savings. It was disappointing. Then reality sets in. Your marriage is over. The woman you fell in love with has betrayed you, and the last 2 years of your life feel like a waste. In the end, it's not even about the money. I genuinely thought I loved this girl. Why didn't she love me? For the longest time, I wondered what was wrong with me and if anyone would truly be able to love me. Not to mention, I was really close to her dad. My own father left when I was younger, and I never spoke to him since then, so hers kind of took me under his wing, becoming the father I never had. I still call him from time to time, sharing my accomplishments as they come and even stopping by to see him when I get a chance. Divorce is never fun, boys and girls, and take my advice, when you're young and in love, don't be foolish and rush into something. Take some time to really get to know the other person. Wait 3 to 5 years, move in together. I wish someone had pulled me aside and said, "Man, think about what you're doing. Maybe you should give it some time?" Also, another piece of advice, the old saying about knowing how a girl really is by how she treats her parents. This is absolutely true. She was unkind to her parents, that should have been my first red flag. Second story. Cheat on me? I'll destroy your relationship with your mother. I was asked to share this post about one of my college buddies' pro-revenge on his cheating girlfriend of 2 years. He discovered that she had been cheating on him, and he was devastated. He had envisioned a future with her, including marriage, kids, and a white picket fence. Instead of confronting her directly, he told her that he was going to his parents' house for a few days to help them with some repairs. In reality, he spent those days with us, his friends, and we supported him through his emotional turmoil. Eventually, he sobered up and shared his plan to exact revenge, which I didn't fully understand at the time. Little did I know, he was already thinking ahead, as he was about to attend a prestigious law school. He drove to his girlfriend's mother's house, which was over an hour away from town, carrying a neatly boxed collection of her belongings from his apartment. He expressed his intention to leave them with her for his now ex-girlfriend. GF's mom, who had met him on several occasions and even celebrated Thanksgiving together, was taken aback and asked why. Unaware that anything was wrong, she sought clarification. In response, my friend, seemingly choked up, uttered a brief statement like, "I don't think we'll be seeing each other again, but I wanted to return this box to her. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I'm sorry it didn't work out." GF's mom was left stunned and attempted to inquire further, but my friend, possibly unintentionally, started crying and abruptly left, driving away. He never officially ended the relationship or contacted his ex-girlfriend directly. She only found out about the breakup from her mother, who called her immediately. On his drive back home, he received confused and angry texts from his now ex. A while later, possibly a couple of weeks, he received an email from his ex-girlfriend's mom. I don't recall the exact details, but the tone was not apologetic on behalf of her daughter. Instead, it was something along the lines of, "I hope you find a woman who loves you unconditionally." He replied with a simple "Thanks, your note means a lot to me," without expressing any negativity. Today, my buddy is an up-and-coming lawyer, and he still receives texts from his ex-girlfriend, expressing how her mother constantly reminds her of how she ruined her chances with the one good guy in her life and how she doesn't deserve happiness. He has never responded to any of those texts and has blocked her on Facebook. Of course, this was all part of his meticulously planned revenge. He wanted the pain to come from someone who would remain in his ex-girlfriend's life, rather than someone who would be quickly forgotten. He deliberately created a divide in the closest relationship between two women, all through a friendly 60-second conversation without harsh words or accusations. Third story. Cheat on me? I'll end your new relationship 8 years later. I started dating this girl, let's call her Suzanne, about 12 years ago. When we met, she already had 2 kids, John and Sarah, from a previous relationship, and I was fine with that. We had a great time together, and I became like an extra father figure to them. However, after being a couple for about 4 years, I discovered that Suzanne had an affair, so I decided to end the relationship. 2 months later, a mutual friend of ours informed me that Suzanne had moved in with her new boyfriend, Jeff, and about a year later, they had a baby together. At that point, I moved on with my life and forgot about her. But a couple of months ago, she appeared as a friend suggestion on Instagram. Since her account was open, I decided to browse through her pictures and eventually found Jeff's account, you know, the guy she moved in with after we broke up. His account was also open, so I thought of playing a little prank on them. Knowing that Suzanne is very jealous, I created a fake Instagram account and named the fake user Sarah, just like one of Suzanne's kids but with a different last name. I kept the account private, uploaded some random images, and gained some followers through follow-for-follow interactions to make it appear like an authentic and active account. Then, I started bombarding Jeff's posts with comments, complimenting him and expressing how good he looked. The setup was quite simple since Jeff is a spinning instructor, so I made it seem like Sarah was attending his classes. The reason I gave the fake user the same name as Suzanne's daughter was because I wanted to create a situation where she would constantly associate the idea of her daughter flirting with Jeff. As I mentioned before, Suzanne is extremely jealous. Surprisingly, the plan seems to have worked even better than I expected. Just recently, I spoke to our mutual friend and discovered that Jeff and Suzanne broke up and went their separate ways because Jeff had an affair. Thank you all for joining me on this incredible journey. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on future content.